In the ever-shifting landscape of the market, where fortunes can change with the rise and fall of a single number, the ability to stick to your principles is a rare and invaluable skill. It's tempting, when the world seems to be in a frenzy, to follow the crowd, to let fear or greed dictate your actions. But those who endure, those who not only survive but thrive, are often the ones who hold fast to their core values, no matter how turbulent the environment becomes. Imagine the early morning quiet just before the opening bell of the stock market. The city outside is stirring to life, and traders are already glued to glowing screens, scanning headlines and market data. In this world, every number carries weight. Every rumor can become reality. It's easy to feel small in the face of such uncertainty. But this is exactly where principles matter most. Sticking to your principles isn't about stubbornness or refusing to adapt to new information. It's about clarity, knowing what you believe, why you believe it, and how those beliefs shape your decisions. For investors, a principle might be never to invest in a business they don't understand, or to avoid companies that don't align with their personal ethics. For others, it's the conviction to hold long-term, even when the market is in panic, or to only risk what they can afford to lose. The true test of these principles comes not when things are calm and predictable, but when the market is volatile. When prices plummet and headlines scream warnings, even the most steadfast can feel the pull of emotion. Fear whispers that you should sell before things get worse. Greed urges you to grab quick gains while you can. In those moments, principles serve as an anchor, keeping you grounded when everyone else is swept away by the current. Take, for example, the story of an investor named Mai, who started her journey with a simple rule. She would only invest in companies whose missions she believed in, and she would hold her investments for at least 5 years. For months, her portfolio grew steadily. But then, a sudden downturn shook the markets. Friends called her panicked, urging her to sell before her gains disappeared. News programs replayed scenes of anxious crowds and falling numbers. Mai felt the fear. She would have been less than human not to, but she remembered her principle. Only invest in what you believe in, hold for the long term. She took a deep breath, reviewed the companies she owned, and asked herself whether she still believed in their missions and their prospects. The answer was yes. So, against the tide of panic, she held on. Months later, as the market recovered, Mai's investments did too. Many of those who had sold at the bottom regretted their decisions, but Mai's discipline rewarded her. Her story isn't unique. Again and again, history has shown that those who stick to their principles weather the storm better than those who react impulsively. But it's not always easy. The market is more than numbers. It's human psychology in action. When everyone around you is making decisions based on emotion, sticking to your principles can make you feel isolated or even foolish. It takes courage to be different, especially when you can't see the future. That's why it's important to define your principles clearly before you're tested. Reflect on the values that matter to you, both in life and in investing. Is it honesty, caution, social responsibility, growth? Write down your guiding beliefs and revisit them regularly. By internalizing them, you'll be better prepared when the pressure is on. It also helps to learn from those who have walked this path before. Legendary investors like Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger are known for their steadfast commitment to their principles. They don't chase trends or let panic guide their choices. Instead, they analyze patiently, act deliberately, and let their values lead the way. Their success is not just measured in wealth, but in the peace of mind that comes from knowing they've stayed true to themselves. Of course, principles aren't set in stone. The world changes, and so should we. But changing your principles is different from abandoning them in a moment of fear. If you do choose to adjust your beliefs, let it be the result of thoughtful reflection, not a reaction to the latest headline. Beyond the world of investing, this skill is just as powerful in everyday life. Whether you're facing challenges at work, in relationships, or in personal growth, holding on to your principles provides a sense of direction. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you're less likely to be swayed by others' opinions or momentary setbacks. Practice reminding yourself of your core values, especially when you're under pressure. Write them down and place them where you can see them every day. Talk about them with people you trust, And when you're faced with a tough decision, pause and ask yourself, what would I do if I wasn't afraid? What would I do if I was being true to my principles? The skill of sticking to your principles during market fluctuations isn't just about making better financial decisions. It's about living with integrity, confidence, and resilience. It's about building a foundation that can withstand storms, whether they come from the outside world or from within. And it's about inspiring those around you to do the same. So the next time you feel the ground shifting beneath you, take a breath. Remember what you believe and why. Trust in the values that have guided you this far. The market, like life, will always have its ups and downs. But with principles as your compass, you'll find your way through and come out stronger on the other side.